how we doing today, Adrian?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Let's do it, man.
All right, let's hop into it. So you watched Secret Invasion. When did you check it out? Yesterday?
Yeah, I checked it out last night after a stint of traveling. But yeah. I got it in.
That's the thing, man. Imagine if we could have done this show when we were like 15 years old. We wouldn't have all these life things to get in the way.
Right? Yeah, you think about this. Like, I should have stayed with my mom till like 5 years ago.
Exactly.
Dude, man. I mean, forget all that taxes and all that other, I got to go buy my groceries. Man, bump that. Man.
Right? Seriously. So I tried to watch this twice during the week, and then I have, it's summer. Kids are out of school, so they're up late. We're hanging out, and dude, it's like midnight. I'm putting the show on. I'm gonna watch this, and both times, bro, I fell asleep.
Right, I understand that.
Yep. So I mean, but I did watch the full episode yesterday.
Okay.
And from a spoiler-free standpoint, I enjoyed it a lot. I felt like it was, well, actually, you know what? Let's give our rating first.
Okay.
I'm gonna give episode 1 a 7.
I will agree. I'll agree with that.
Okay, cool. And I'll tell you what I liked about it. I liked how suspenseful it felt throughout. Like I mean, with the music and just the dark setting, it just felt like there was something about to happen at every corner. You just didn't know where. So I did enjoy that piece. I loved seeing Nick Fury back.
Right.
I think Sam Jackson killed it. And what I like about this, Adrian, is I believe this is the first time he's actually playing that starring role in anything Marvel related.
Yeah, I believe so. Which is always good to see. Nick Fury coming out owning, just like he does in everything that he does. He just owns the character.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we get to see some kind of sideline characters from the past, like Maria Hill's always kind of been in and out. She's in this. We see Talos, Talos, who I think we first met in Captain Marvel, most likely, and he's kind of showed up throughout some end credit scenes. And then we get to see some brand new characters that we've never seen before. Everett Ross, from I think maybe the first time we saw him may have been Black Panther.
Correct.
And we've seen him throughout some other films, and I've liked his character. How do you feel about Everett Ross' character?
I like him. He's like one of those. I think we probably mentioned in earlier Only Comics where. It's good to see that mix of non-superhero, characters in these movies. It kind of balances everything else. Everything can be, supers, because then I think the audience gets disconnected. Because I think some people, at least, I did earlier in life when I started, watching comics, you kind of like put yourself in the position of these superheroes, but it's like you can't be all of them.
Exactly.
So it's nice to see that nice balance of just a normal person in these movies, and they pull the characters off too. So
yeah, that's a good point. If everyone has powers, like powers aren't that special anymore,
exactly.
Right? Like everyone's just super strength. So yeah, we see Everett Ross a little bit, but yeah, overall, I like this. I feel like there's going to be a lot of like small twists and turns, and if in the opening credits, if you notice, there's one part where they have like a chessboard.
Yep.
And then there's another part in the episode where two characters are playing chess.
Yep.
And I feel like that's kind of like an underlying theme. We got a bunch of because Nick Fury's always kind of been that character running things from the shadows.
Right.
And he's kind of up against others right now that are running things from the shadows. It's like a big game of chess that these guys are all playing.
Yep. I also and we'll get into this later. I think I had a few predictions from last week.
I think we both did.
About what was going to happen in this show, and I think we were spot on. Man.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. So, outside of checking us out just because we're purely entertaining, I mean, we give you accurate we did it with The Flash. We predicted a bunch of stuff with The Flash. We predicted some stuff with the Secret Invasion episode. So, yeah, I mean, these aren't spoilers because we don't know what's going to happen, but we're good like that.
Right. I think we should do a Nostradamus episode. We
should.
We just sit down and just do predictions about these movies, bro.
Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt. So, but yeah, I stand by my 7. I enjoyed it. It definitely. I love how it ended on somewhat of a cliffhanger. Again, we won't spoil it here, but my only. And it's not even really a critique about this episode, but I think this is the issue with the series when you take a long movie and play it out as a series. It's like, because they've actually said that this show is like a 6-hour movie.
Right.
Then why the hell are you giving it to me one episode at a time?
Suspense, advertising.
Yeah.
They gotta put the pre and post advertising, and this whole marketing thing around it. I mean, that's the most of it.
Yeah. But I think that's my only, and again, it's not a critique on this episode, but just this format. It's something new because normally with shows, they're more episodic. Yes, there's an overarching story throughout the season,
right.
but there's usually like a mini story within each episode.
Yep.
That's not what I want from this, but it's a different way to receive this type of content in this show that's not really a show. It's a long movie that's just cut up.
Right. I think they could probably pull this whole thing off. I mean, especially considering movies are approaching the 3-hour mark.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have pulled this off in that 3-hour timeline.
Right.
But again, they got to do all this other stuff
Yeah.
along one. Plus, it also buys them time for some other things that we're going to talk about.
Absolutely.
These delays.
Absolutely. Or maybe it's just they're like you said, they're doing their job because they got me hooked.
Right.
And I'm angry because I can't watch the rest of the show. So I guess it worked out, right? That's
Right,
a cliffhanger. I'm saying don't do a 6-hour movie, just give me the whole show at once. But I guess that touche, Marvel. Good job.
But Marvel, please don't make this a Game of Thrones ending. Whatever episode 6 is, don't hold the carrot out and then give me a turd at the end of the show.
Because I mean, the way this is setting up, this is a show that could have a major impact on the actual, the mainline story, this multiversal. Because a lot of these shows have really impacted movies moving forward.
Right.
And actually, I think, maybe we'll do this next week, Adrian. I'd love to sit down and talk about from a, phase 4, phase 5 standpoint when Marvel, are the shows better than the movies?
That'd be an interesting topic because then, but that affects all kinds of things. Then, does the Disney Plus subscriptions go up and the movie theater tickets go down?
Right.
That affects politics. That affects theater ability to make income. So that'll be I like that. I like that.
I'm thinking back. I'm like, I don't know, man. One of the things I really enjoyed about this episode, Adrian, was the fact that I didn't laugh at anything.
I have my own opinions about that, but we'll get into that in a deep dive. But, I
we've
agree.
talked about sometimes with these other movies where, like you said, they just press the comedy button every 14 seconds.
Right.
And that didn't happen with this.
Right.
Which I'm like, it was a breath of fresh air for me.
It was. It was a very serious intro, except that opening credit scene. But it was a very serious episode. And you wouldn't, I think that's what you would expect from a Sam Jackson lead kind of a show. That's a serious guy. He's playing a serious character, and let's make this serious. Now, I'm sure some funny stuff is going to come out.
Sure.
But,
Yeah, but they weren't beating you over the head with it.
Right.
So I highly recommend, if you've not seen the show yet, check it out. Again, it's suspenseful. I think it's very different from a lot of things that we've got from Marvel so far, which is a good thing. A lot of times, with Marvel, what happens, at least in my opinion, is we kind of just hit the same beats every time, right? Like this movie is the same as that movie. We just swap out some characters, and this does not feel like that.
Right.
It doesn't feel like your traditional Marvel formula, which I like.
I definitely think it's going to be entertaining, but we'll see. I just hope they can successfully wrap this thing up.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's hope this is not just kind of starting off on a high and drop off on the next episode.
I mean, what I've also seen, what possibly is going to happen is this is also like they're testing the waters for other things like this. Like these little mini series.
Yeah.
I mean, because again, there's so much content in the comic book world. They don't have to keep replaying, Monken and all this other kind of stuff. There's so much content they can drop in series.
Right.
So this might be like a test platform.
Yeah. And then the other thing, they said this is going to lead into Armor Wars, which is now going to be a movie. And that's going to be based around Rhodey's character.
Okay.
And so something that's going to happen in here is going to lead into that movie, allegedly.
That'll be interesting to see. I mean, I just hope they get the AI and the CGI correct before they start doing that, because Armor Wars is a pretty technologically advanced a series of things. You can't. It's hard to fake that or do that very well.
Yeah.
So I just hope they advance in there. It's not that they don't have the tech. It just seems like they're lazy at some points.
All right. Well, I think that's it for our toe dip.